I'm Dr. Joanne Medhurst. I am a GP in Bexley, which is in Kent. I've been a GP here for nearly 15 years and practiced in Sidcup, where I was the senior partner up until 18 months ago. One of my sort of proud moments is Bexley became a successful first wave Pathfinder back in December of this year. I think that built on a lot of work around practice-based commissioning. We've done 3 to 4 years of quite significant GP development around how to do GP commissioning, and that led into being a successful Pathfinder. There's also about how GPs need to work together to do this successfully. I think one of the facts that I always talk about is 80% of the NHS budget is spent through decisions made by clinicians, either referrals or prescribing. Unless GPs and nurses and prescribers work together, we will never make the money be sustainable in the NHS. And that's the drive around GP commissioning, and that's the thing we've got to pay great attention to. The healthcare system has had a very traditional view of clinical leadership, and I hope and would aspire to do a different sort of more inclusive and innovative leadership. And that includes using technology properly so we can bring women into this agenda. My personal opinion is watching all the GP consortia leads, women are palpably and visibly absent. There's very few of us in the system. There must be ways around that, looking at working practices. And I also think salaried doctors, or the lost tribe of general practice, as I tend to call them, need to be brought into this agenda. They have ideas, they're talented, and they will be the next generation of GP leaders driving this agenda. You need strategic leaders, you need operational leaders. You want people who've got a clinical passion for one area of clinical redesign. We have a fantastic diabetic clinical lead, we have a fantastic cardiovascular clinical lead, we need practice manager leaders, we need nurse leaders. Leadership is at every single level, and it should be expressed like that and acknowledged as an important facet of professional life. In Bexley, with our local authority, we have set up a shadow health and wellbeing board to try and generate the culture, the relationships between us and our local authority colleagues that we need to drive this agenda forward. The health and wellbeing boards, which will be set up in 2013, will be responsible for the strategy around health and social care in our borough. We will need to work with them, and we will need to have good relationships so we understand each other's agendas, what are our restraints, what are our successes, and that needs to begin now. To wait till 2013, there will not be enough common understanding of what is the end point we need to drive towards. Good information and data are vital in the management of your practice budgets. You don't know what you don't know. So we've invested quite a lot of time and energy in having a desktop system for practices where they can look at their current referral data, the cost of that referral data, their prescribing data. We also invested in one individual whose full-time job is to visit practices every single day of the week and help them interrogate that data, look at it, add in any algorithms or programs we need to improve it. And so we have a very interactive system where we improve the desktop module and we then feed it back into our organisational needs and into the practice monthly reports. So they know month on month how their budgets are running, what their activity levels are running at. So we know our non-elective activity data, who's going into our urgent care systems, how much is being prescribed on statins. We can see at this end, organisationally at the Care Trust, the GPs can see it in their desktop, in their practices. Data validation, where there are challenges in the system, where we think we're being charged for areas that the GPs think hasn't happened, is also done through this system. And although, unfortunately, last year we were on a block contract, we have guesstimated that it saved £10 million in the system by challenging this data. It's not just about wrong sex, wrong date of birth, it is the conditions, it's the clinical details that are on this system, which I know a lot of areas haven't got to that great depth. But we believe, as in my experience of fund holding, if you're going to do this properly, you need good clinical data, activity data and financial data all together in one place that someone can see at a press of a fingertip.